Hey, everybody, welcome to episode 86 of the Almost Daily Show with your beautiful host, Chandler, and
and the Dave Picardi.
The man, the myth, the legend. Here we are.
Thinking that you should have done that in Espanol.
Yeah.
Muy bonita.
Muy bonito. El dos guys.
That's right.
Yeah, that was out of control.
I just realized what time it is on the East Coast, and I'm still drinking a coffee. So I actually only have I have a rule that I have to finish drinking coffee by noon, and it's 1:24, and I'm still drinking it, which means I'm in for an all-nighter. Can't sleep at night.
You know what it also means?
What?
You're a rebel. You don't follow the rules.
Rules really weren't meant for me, so yeah. I agree.
You make your own destiny. You carve your own way.
That's right.
I figured out.
Actually, last night. Go ahead.
Oh, you go ahead.
I was going to say, last night I put on a random movie as a joke, and I actually thought it was great. It was like Sword of Destiny. It was a kung fu movie.
Oh, yeah?
I threw it on thinking that, well, yeah, this one looks really good. Click, and I was waiting for Tara to turn it off, and it was really good.
And she watched the whole thing.
Yeah.
You know what I found flying? You can watch every single like kung fu Asian movie in the history of the world. They're all on those things. Like you could literally just sit there and watch 100 hours of kung fu movies. There's probably more kung fu movies than there are regular movies.
Well, I think it's the overseas market.
Yeah.
So
they're
I can watch them all day.
Oh, they're so fun.
Oh, yeah.
It's like,
so this was probably, I'm just trying to think how old you are. So it was probably, this all happened before you were born, but the old Kung Fu theater back in the day. So they were amazing, like absolutely amazing. You could watch Kung Fu theater and then you'd watch your Creature Double feature, right? So it was like four hours of the best 4 hours TV's ever had every single Saturday.
Oh, that's exciting.
Kind of was.
They should bring that back.
Yeah, well, I mean, the cool thing with the way that the world works now is you can just block off 4 hours every Saturday and just watch it.
That's true.
You can just instantly watch whatever you want.
Make your own schedule. Make your own destiny.
Sword of Destiny.
Your destiny is here.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah. Well, we could reenact a kung fu movie probably someday.
Yeah. I do it with my kids when we're in like the grocery store and stuff.
Yeah, I do that and Steph yells at me.
Yeah, we break out and do the kung fu reenactment. It's pretty fun.
Yeah.
I usually win.
Of course, because you're a winner. Can't let your kids see you weak.
Absolutely not.
That's key.
That's right. So we're going to talk about today, Chan.
Well, so today we wanted to jump on and freestyle it. We have a lot of fun just freestyling it. And our last episode where we freestyled it was one of our most popular ones. So we figured we'd come on and do this a little more often. I figured we can just talk about things that are relevant and current in the industry, in the market. I'm actually finding that Facebook ads are really mysterious for people a lot of the time. I think you have to think of it as like a scientific process. It's just a process of testing different variations and different options. And then it's testing different variations and options of your landing page. So I was talking to someone the other day and they were trying to figure out why they weren't getting as many leads and stuff from their campaigns. And so then it's just a process of, okay, which ones are underperforming, which ones are performing really well. We need to shut the ones that aren't performing well off. And then we need to make sure we keep the ones that are performing well on, and we put more money into that thing. And we should be testing variations of like text, pictures, and all of that. It's almost like a machine gun approach at the beginning, and then you narrow it down until you've got the perfect one. And then at the same time, you have to be optimizing the landing page. One little word or one little picture can make or break the difference. And that's why we see people testing so many different things. It's why there's A and B variations. So it's not as simple as just putting one thing out. You have to machine gun put it out, and then you narrow it down to the single one. And that's why the most successful ad people out there have kind of their system they've already developed where they've narrowed it down. But if you do it yourself, you essentially build something around your own brand that you can use.
Yeah, I think it's a combination of both. You know, if people are already doing it and doing it well, it's only a positive to jump on board, and then you can always tweak it to your specific gym. I know it's very frustrating, and we work with a lot of people on this. It's frustrating to try to figure out, not only like how do you get your ad up, there's just so many things, so many variables. And so it's like, yeah, that looks great. And then you can have somebody come in and audit your ad, and they come in and they add a whole bunch of stuff to it that you didn't even know existed. And I think that's the benefit of working when you're looking at lead gen and doing Facebook ads specifically. That whole process of getting it set up and working right and flowing right and all that, that's one side of the equation. And then if you want to tweak it and make the adjustments and test it, that's a whole other side. But it's not an hour a week job. I mean, it's something you need to be really putting a lot of work into. And it's also something that, like growth of your business and steady growth and trying to find that balance. It's more than just Facebook ads. It's kind of how your overall approach to your overall marketing works. And so you really have to have a handle on it all and figure out where the Facebook ad fits into it to fine tune it.
Yeah, that's it. If you don't understand your brand or what you're doing in the market or where you need to be headed or what you should be calling your programs and services, you're just going to be throwing out shotgun ads that don't really benefit you in the long run. They might benefit you short term, and then you're going to see they start to fall apart. Then you're going to have to do something else. And you're going to continuously evolve, which is great. And that's what we're going to do when we have our own stuff established, but we need to make sure that we have all that down pat before we start actually trying to make Facebook ads work really well. So you should have your intro program. Everybody has like a fundamentals program. Everybody has an on-ramp program, but you should call it something. We've talked about this in the past. Give it a label. It doesn't matter what you label it, but associate it with your brand, give it a label, and give people a reason to want to participate in it. Because people are numb to on-ramp. People are numb to fundamentals. People still tend to like a beginner. Yeah, it's just right. Like, okay, I don't know what this means. Beginner, they see that and they're like, okay, I can do that. I'm a beginner. But if they see some sort of like unique outlined experience, people don't want to buy sessions. They want to buy an experience, and they want to buy whatever's in the thing. They want to buy a packaged solution.
Yeah, and I think, and then, the hot topic is the challenges. So you can call it whatever you want. If you're not packaging your product and having value adds and actually, you could say, like, well, we do personal training, but what happens in the personal training? Is there a whole progression that happens for 10 weeks or 6 weeks or 5 weeks? Spell it all out, make it very clear, build it into your marketing, package it, and then sell it as something that's not just the hour of PT. There's more value that's built into that, and so a 6-week challenge, there's nothing wrong with them. It just has to be, is that what you're doing for your business? Is that your package and your product packaged together? And then it makes perfect sense. And the consumer looks at it and totally gets it. So you don't have to be a part of an organization that runs them, but you should have your own variation of, how people join your gym and what they get for it. And, if you need at least 8 weeks of work with someone, and if they do A, B, C, D, and E, they get success and you're able to keep them long-term, put it all together, figure out what the cost is, and then market it as such.
Yeah, exactly. And one thing you can do to get this organized that I don't think anybody ever does is a feature audit. Like you're saying, take your whole program, map out all the features and benefits that people get in the entire program, and then map out what the end result is. What are they going to do at the end? Where are they going to go? And what is the goal of the entire thing? And then you need to map out why people would want to do it based on polling people who currently do it. So then you have what's inside it, what they get, who they are, so you can actually market to them. And then at the end, what the end result is. What's the story you're going to tell them to say that they're going to get that result at the end and see themselves there. And so it shouldn't be like, oh, you get personal training sessions. It should be like you're saying, that there's nothing wrong with a 6-week challenge. And you can organize your PT program into a 6-week PT program, 6 weeks to a new you or whatever, unless that's already trademarked by new you. But 6 weeks it probably is. But it's 6 weeks to a whatever it is, to a new you. We call it the Fluff to Tough experience. And it's okay, what do you get? You get 19 one-on-one personal training sessions, a nutrition guidebook, accountability coach, and all these other things. And then the story that you're going to tell in like your copy is going to be, coffee, mo coffee, mo better. Finish that coffee. And then the story you're going to tell in like your ad copy and even the landing page before you get to all the features is what are they going to look like at the end? And why should this matter to them? People don't want to look at right now. They want to look at where they're going to be and how they're going to get there.
That's right. So, and then something else that we get to talk to so many people now, and many successful gyms out there. And I think that what I'm finding is, I know, recently, the last few months, we own a gym, Treehouse. I'm not super involved with it from a coaching and all that standpoint, but we went diving back into it to try to figure out how to maximize every kind of department of it. Only because we're working with all these clients that are there's not like one way to do things. We're finding that there's gyms out there that they do it all different ways, and they're crushing it. And what we're finding is the ones that are crushing it, they take top to bottom, and it's every one of them slightly different, but they're putting the work in. So when you're doing Facebook ads, they're putting work in so that they're packaging it up correctly. When you come in the door, a huge thing that people struggle with is the sales side of it. And it's not like this fine-tuned system that is very good all the way through the sell, and they're missing quite a bit in the process. Then once they're sold, what is the client experience? The look, the feel, right? What do they get? How do they consume it, and do they understand what the program is and what they get? And then when they get into the actual program, is it set up so they get what it is? It's long-term, progressions, benchmarking, whatever it is, right? But that all has to be tied in through your entire process. And some gyms take it on a very individualized basis where each coach is responsible for everything. Some gyms systemize it from the top to bottom, and there's a different person in charge of each step of the way. Both can work. What we're finding is that you have to put, as the owner and the management, ridiculous amounts of work into each part of it to make sure that it is systemized, it is consistent to the consumer, the communication's there to the consumer. And if you didn't get all that right, you're not successful, and you find that if you're not getting leads into your gym without Facebook ads, you're like a mess, right? Like you don't have anything right in your business. And so if you're like, we don't have leads, we haven't had leads in 3 months, don't worry about Facebook ads. Don't worry about leads. Go back into your business and figure out where you're dropping the ball, because you're dropping balls everywhere.
Yeah, that's it. And I think when people, especially gyms, when people open their business, they start working, and this is like the cliche term, they start working in their business, and they get so stuck, especially in gyms, they get so stuck coaching like 8, 9, 10 hours a day, and everything falls apart, and they can't understand why. And what it really is, you need to be in a position to where you can constantly and consistently look at your processes. You can enhance processes, talk to the people who are performing the processes, fix what's going on, create the brand, make sure there's brand congruency from Facebook to website to door, make sure there's strategic partnerships and local business development happening. You can't do that kind of stuff if you're on the floor 12 hours a day working and just dealing with the things inside the business, which is why people open these things. They have this passion for, especially in gyms, coaching, and they have this passion for the people they were involved in. They have this passion for doing the workout routines and the exercise and being part of the community. But as an owner, you have to be able to take a step back and say, okay, it's my responsibility to make sure this thing can run long-term. And it's my responsibility to make sure that we can consistently bring people in from Facebook, from local biz development, from strategic partners, and from referrals, and from all these different sources. And then if you're not getting something from one source, you need to take that, pull it back, and reanalyze what's going on and why it's not happening, and then try to push it out again and see what happens. And so it's just a continuous process. What am I doing right? What am I doing wrong? What's working? What's not working? And how do I fine tune my processes every single day to make sure that we're never in a position to where we're falling apart?
Yeah, and I think the thing that happens is you're busy. You want to coach people. You need to get, I need more leads. I need to raise my revenue. I don't really know about like coach development and marketing and sales and programming and, all the different hats you have to wear. And a lot of the times what we're seeing is people then go to like they think that they can just, pay somebody else money, and then they'll just do it all for them or teach it all for them. And, an approach that I think needs to happen is it all needs to happen from inside your gym. You can't just outsource everything.
That's true.
I think you can have, someone has to be responsible in the gym, right? And then you can have different organizations that you're a part of. And my recommendation is it probably should be many, because we've been in this a long time, and everybody has something that they bring some good value to the table, but you never want to be in a bubble. We're seeing a lot of these gyms out there that are very successful, are involved with many different mentoring groups and many different mastermind groups, and have all sorts of services and people they work with so that they can maximize their client experience and their profit and education and everything that's going on. I think it's just very important. So in-house, you need to make sure, like say the gym I own has 5 departments, right? 5 management positions. So if any of those positions need help, then we can just contract out to another company to help us get it done. But there's still a person responsible in-house. That's their job.
Yeah, that's it. I think a lot of us fall into the atmosphere where the owner's doing everything and they feel like they can't ask their staff to do anything. And it's not the staff's fault. It's generally the owner's fault for not being a good leader, not managing their business appropriately. And you can organize your business into departments, or you can make sure that people are responsible for each aspect of what needs to happen. And from there, you can actually make the business run efficiently, because if someone's responsible for each piece, if you have someone responsible for marketing, someone responsible for training interns, someone responsible for all the coaching, someone responsible for the programming, and these can be overlapping responsibilities as well. But if something doesn't get done, then you have someone to go to and ask why. Like, why didn't the programming get released this week? Why didn't our videos get released this week? Why didn't this happen? And if things go well, you can talk about it. Okay, these things went really well. Let's talk about what we did, why we did it well, how it went well, and what happened, how we can improve next time. And then in your staff meetings, it's a lot more efficient. It's not just standing there talking about random things. It's going through everybody's department or everybody's responsibilities and analyzing and adjusting and making sure that everybody's always moving forward, everybody knows what they're doing, and everybody's held responsible and accountable for their piece. Because if you're the only one who's responsible for everything as the owner, obviously you are, but you need to make sure that responsibility is extended to your staff members. And if you're in that position, it falls away from the owner doing everything and having their head in the dirt and moves into actually managing people and actually being a leader in the way they should be.
Yeah. So if you're just to touch on this, so say you want to grow your business, because this is something else that happens is you need to identify what you want for your business. So if you want to have a small training type business where you really have, you're real intimate with the clients and you really know what's going on and you have a handle on it all, and you don't want to have 200, 300, 400 clients, then there's nothing wrong with it. That's a beautiful thing. And I think the mistake is people follow, I'm going to follow a system, and that system's trying to have you get to a certain point or do a certain thing, but that might not be what you want. And understanding that, communities only grow a certain way. And we're talking about communities in the gym business. And there's actually, it's thousands of years proven, size of communities, management of communities, how the structure has to be, how you delegate roles and responsibilities. It's all pretty simple stuff. And you have to, if you want to move up from one tier to the next, you have to change your internal structure to grow into the next level. So you have to make sure that you're, so say I'm a one-man band and I have a couple part-timers and I want to get to the next level. I have to set my business up with all the roles and responsibilities correct, the way the community is going to run, how are we going to grow into it first. I could be the only one doing all the work, but that means when I find the right person to replace a segment of my work, the structure's in place. And then that structure allows me then to grow to a certain size. As I'm getting close to the max capacity on that size, which is scientifically proven numbers, which is amazing to me, but we can break that down later. All these business models, they do these things, but there's an actual scientific way to grow communities that is, it's so beautiful. And then if you build your business structure around understanding those breaks, you then it's easy to grow to the next level. But say you get to the next level and you want to take another step farther, you need to make a little bit of an adjustment to the structure of your hierarchy to make that jump. And if you don't, you just spin your wheels, because then you have this structure in place that will suit so much. And then you're like, oh, we want to do this, but then it doesn't pan out because the structure didn't match it, didn't allow for it.
Yeah, that's the process of basically scaling up. A lot of people don't prepare themselves to scale up and they don't organize it into phases of strategic planning. Oh yeah, you're still here. Your face disappeared. So yeah, that's the process of scaling up. It's learning and understanding that all the processes we have and all the people we need to bring on and all the positions we're going to need to be oriented and organized ahead of time. And we need to make sure that those positions are there, they're mapped out. We have all the roles and responsibilities associated with it. And then every single thing we do when we grow, we build into the new growth pattern. So if you have new hires you need to bring on, you need to already have that prepped, what they're doing, what their responsibilities are, and how they need to be organized 6-7 months ahead of time. And then when you grow out of your current business model and into what you need to do to scale up, it already needs to be prepared, mapped out, and organized in a way to where the whole thing's replicatable, because you can't depend on one person after you grow into a certain position. It's going to end up being 2, then 3, then 4, then 5, then 500. And if you grow large and you haven't mapped this out and you haven't put your processes and you haven't put your strategies in place and you haven't written anything down, you don't have anything that's going to allow you to replicate yourself. And you're just going to run in circles, hoping and praying that you can figure it out eventually. And then you never actually do, because you end up on this roller coaster where you're just up and down. So the way to organize this stuff is you need every 6 months, you need a new cycle organized for business growth. You make projections. This is where we're going to be. This is what we're going to need. This is how we're going to do it. And this is what it's going to look like. And when you get there, you always need to make adjustments, because things never go the way you plan. And you plan accordingly, adjust accordingly, and then you move into the next phase of your business cycle. So you organize this thing. It's business cycles to scale up. How do I get I need my staff in a good position. I need my information and what I'm doing written down. I need my processes organized, and I need to look at what I'm doing and where I'm going and how we're going to get there.
Yeah, good stuff.
Hey, you're back.
Crowdcast just shut down on me, kicked me out.
That's weird. Luckily, Cast is still running, so we got all the audio.
Right. Couple choice words in there on the audio only.
I'll leave it in there. We'll get an explicit rating this time. All right. Well, this was a good episode. We like explicit. We should just make one episode where all we do is have beeps. We'll lose all of our listeners.
Right. I think that'd be a great episode.
Would be fantastic. People would love it. Probably our most popular one.
Actually, there's a couple guests out there in the world. I think if we brought them on, we could go explicit real fast.
That's true. We'll have to bring them out.
That's right. That's right.
We need you, because we need you to be explicit.
We can do just an explicit episode, right?
Yeah, just one explicit episode where the whole thing is just, we'll drop F-bombs and everything.
I'm going to line that up.
Let's do it. We'll get an explicit dictionary. We'll call it the explicit show, the almost explicit show.
I can't wait to. We'll have the whole. I'll reach out to someone today and try to get that lined up.
That'd be good. Just be F-bombs everywhere.
That'll be the whole theme.
The entire thing. It'll be good. What do you think about this? And then it'll just be beep until we start talking.
And then there'll be like a beep.
And furthermore, beep.
That's right.
It'll be great. We actually have
good stuff
coming on next Friday who was part of a gym and has a cool story to tell. And it's kind of the ups and downs of the whole process. He'll be writing a few blogs for us. So look for that next Friday. I think that'll be a fun episode. Those kind of stories are huge. It's powerful. It's fun, and it's really neat to hear.
Yeah.
And I think you guys will be able to learn a lot from it. So be sure to check the podcast next Friday for that show.
Yeah, it'd be good. A little precursor on that, just to paint the picture on it. It is, so it's someone that worked in a gym that came on like management level. That this gym was just really trying to grow and get the systems in place and do everything that everyone's always talking about aggressively and as a team, and then the whole thing imploded. Yeah. So it's I think it'd be a great story, because it's what we're all trying to do, what every gym out there that's working with people and listening is trying to do. And then this is it's a good thing to look at, like maybe the pitfall side, and if we could do it different, what would we do, and all that type of stuff. And it's coming from not an owner's perspective, but a manager perspective that was trying to get it all done.
Yeah, it's going to be really neat. It's just a huge learning opportunity. So everybody should listen to that show. Everybody should pay attention to it. Everybody should read the blog series we have coming out about it, because that's how you learn real life experiences, and from people who have been there, people who tried it, and they can tell you this is what went well, this is what didn't, and this is how I do it next time.
I like it.
Good times.
All right, Chan, good episode.
This was fun. 24 minutes later, Freestyle Friday ended up being a long episode.
That's right.
That's perfect. All right.
Good stuff.
Well, we'll see you guys. We are continuously getting a ton of new people listening to the show. So thanks for listening, guys. If you want to be part of the action, you can join our Facebook group or you can sign up for our newsletter. It's always in the show notes. Anyway, that's all she wrote. I think Dave froze again, so I'm going to sign off. Oh, you're back. All right, guys. We'll see you next time. See ya.